Good evening, football fans. Big Al here on this Thursday night. It is November 9th, 2023, and it's time to kick off the second half of the 2023 NFL season. And we got a lot to talk about during my Week 10 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. And then stay tuned to the end for an updated look at the standings and the playoff races in both the AFC and NFC. That's coming up at the end of my picks, so stick around for that. All right, so point spreads and totals are courtesy of the Sports Alerts app. You can download it right now on your phone, tablet, or computer. Meanwhile, announcer teams and the Sunday afternoon maps for every game, that's courtesy of 506 Sports. If you want to check out those maps for yourself, log on to www.506sports.com, click the NFL tab on the homepage, and scroll down to Week 10. The Sunday afternoon maps are subject to change, so make sure you check in with them for any changes. And then the standings and the playoff races, I got that information from ESPN.com. And I've left links to both of those websites in the description box. Oh, and the list of announcers, I also got that off of Touchdown Wire from USA Today. Just log on to touchdownwire.usatoday.com, and that list is right there. And I also have a link to Touchdown Wire in the description box below. That being said, let's jump into my Week 10 NFL picks. Starting off with Thursday Night Football. Tonight, it's the 1-7 Carolina Panthers and the 2-7 Chicago Bears. That game is tonight at 8:15 Eastern on Prime. Your announcers will be Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, and sideline reporter Kaylee Hartung. The Panthers come in ranked 30th. In my Week 10 power rankings, the Bears are 29th. Current point spread is Chicago -3. The over-under is at 38. I'm taking the Bears straight up 20-14, and I'm also picking the home team minus the 3 points. All right, next up is the final game in Frankfurt, and the final game is 2023 International Series as the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts face off with the 2-7 New England Patriots. Sunday morning at 9:30 Eastern on NFL Network. Your announcers will be Rich Eisen and Jason McCourty, with sideline reports from Sarah Walsh and Stacey Dales. The Colts come in ranked 22nd in my power rankings. The Patriots are 28th. Current point spread is Indy -1.5. Over-under is at 43. I have the Colts winning this one 24-16, and I'm taking Indianapolis -1.5. Now to the Sunday afternoon games. There are 6 in the early window, 4 in the late window. We'll start with the 1 o'clock games first. Big divisional tilt in the AFC North coming up as the 5-3 Cleveland Browns look to exact revenge on Lamar Jackson and the 7-2 Baltimore Ravens. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Announcers are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma, with sideline reports from Shannon Spake. Cleveland's ranked 11th in my power rankings, and the Ravens are 2nd. Current point spread is Baltimore -6.5. Over-under is 38. No revenge here. Sorry, Cleveland. I have the Ravens winning 31-21. And I'm taking Baltimore -6.5 points. Next up, you've got the 3-5 Green Bay Packers at the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The announcers are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis, with sideline reports from Evan Washburn. The Packers are ranked 27th in my current power rankings, and the Steelers are 13th. Current point spread is Pittsburgh -3.5. Over under is at 39. I'm taking the Steelers in this one, 26-14. And I'm also taking the Steelers -3.5 points. Up next, you've got the 4-4 Houston Texans and the 5-3 Cincinnati Bengals, who, by the way, are red hot. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The announcers for this game are Kevin Harlan and Trent Green, with sideline reporter Melanie Collins. Houston comes in at number 16 in my power rankings, and the Bengals are number 4. Current point spread is Cincinnati -7, and the over-under is at 47. I picked the Bengals here in this spot, 30-17, which means I'm also taking Cincy -7 points. Then we got a very tight matchup coming up here with the 5-4 New Orleans Saints and the 5-4 Minnesota Vikings, as the home team look to extend their 4-game winning streak. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The announcers for this game are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth, and sideline reporter Christina Pink. And they are right next to each other in my power rankings. The Saints are 14th, and the Vikings are 15th. Current spread is New Orleans -3, over-under is 40.5. For some strange reason, I just feel like the Vikings own the Saints in this series. So I'm taking Minnesota in this one, 21-17. And I have the Vikings plus the 3 points. Next up is the game of the week. The 5-3 San Francisco 49ers trying to end a 3-game losing streak, visiting the 6-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The announcers for this game will be Joe Davis and Darryl the Moose Johnston, and sideline reporter Pam Oliver. Both are in the top 10 in my power rankings. The Niners are 8th, the Jaguars are 6th. Current point spread is San Francisco -3, and the over-under is 45. And again, that game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. I don't know if I said that. I think the Niners will stop the bleeding in this one and take it 27-20. And I'm taking the Niner gang, bang, bang, Niner gang, -3 points. And the last of the early games has the 3-5 Tennessee Titans at the 3-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. The announcers are Andrew Catalon, Tiki Barber, and Matt Ryan, and sideline reporter A. Ross. Tennessee is number 20 in my latest power rankings, and Tampa Bay is 24th. Current spread is Tampa Bay -1, and the over-under is at 39.5. I have the Bucs winning a tight one, 23-20, and I'm taking the Buccaneers minus that 1 point. Now to the 4 p.m. games, starting off with the 4-5 Atlanta Falcons and the 1-8 Arizona Cardinals. And the news out of this game, Kyler Murray is back. He will start for the Cardinals on Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on CBS. The announcers are Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta, and sideline reporter Amanda Renner. Atlanta is number 18 in my current power rankings, while Arizona is 32nd. Current point spread is Atlanta -1.5, over-under is 43.5. I'm taking the Falcons to win 28-16. I think Kyler's going to be rusty after not having played in nearly a year. And I'm taking the Falcons minus the 1.5. Following that, you've got the 6-2 and NFC North leading Detroit Lions visiting Justin Herbert and the 4-4 Los Angeles Chargers. Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on CBS. The announcers for that game will be Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, with sideline reports from Tracy Wolfson. The Lions are number 5 in my Week 10 power rankings. The Chargers are 17th. Current point spread, Detroit -3, over-unders 48.5. I'm taking the Lions in this one, 31-23. And I'm also taking the visitors -3 points. Then to game 2 of Fox's doubleheader, otherwise known as America's Game of the Week. The game that most people will be seeing is the 2-7 New York Giants and the 5-3 Dallas Cowboys. These two teams met in Week 1 on Sunday night, and the Cowboys obliterated the G-Men, winning 40-0. The Giants are now down to their third-string quarterback. His name is Tommy DeVito, which means Daniel Jones, who came back last week against the Raiders, got injured and he's out for the year. And the backup, Tyrod Taylor, is also out for this game. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. The announcers are Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. Sideline reporters Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi. The Giants I dropped to number 31 in my power rankings, and the Cowboys are at number 7 after Sunday's loss to the Eagles. This point is the biggest on the board this week and so far in 2023. Current point spread is Dallas at -17, and the over-under is at 39. I have the Cowboys winning in similar fashion like they did in Week 1, only the Giants will get some points. I have 41-10 Dallas, and I'm taking the boys -17. The last Sunday afternoon game is the Washington Commanders 4-5 at the 5-3 Seattle Seahawks. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox, and this will be seen in areas not getting the Giants and Cowboys. The announcers for this game are Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez, and sideline reporter is Laura Oakman. Washington comes in at number 23 in my power rankings. Seattle is number 10, despite getting their doors blown off by the Ravens last week. Current point spread is Seattle -6.5, over-unders 44.5. I think this is going to be a much tighter game. I have Seattle winning 27-24, but I'm taking Washington with the 6.5 points. On Sunday Night Football this week, it's the 4-4 New York Jets, who were embarrassed last Monday night by the Chargers, facing off with yet another AFC West team, the 4-5 Las Vegas Raiders, and this is out in Sin City. Sunday at 8:20 Eastern on NBC. The announcers are Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Sideline reporter is Melissa Stark. New York comes in number 19 in my Week 10 power rankings. Vegas is 20. Current spread is Vegas -1. Over-under is at 37. I have the Raiders winning this one 23-13, and I'm taking Vegas -1. And finally, on Monday Night Football, it's the 3-5 Denver Broncos, playing a lot better over the last couple of weeks, facing off with the 5-4 and injury-riddled Buffalo Bills. Monday at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN and ABC. The announcers are Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Sideline reporter is Lisa Salters. Denver comes in at number 21 in my Week 10 power rankings, while I drop Buffalo down to number 12. Current point spread is Buffalo -7.5, and the over-under is 46.5. I just don't trust the Bills to cover this large point spread. That said, I have Buffalo winning 27-21, but I'm taking Denver plus the 7.5 points. Off this week are the Philadelphia Eagles, 8-1 and ranked number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs at 7-2, ranked number 3. The Miami Dolphins, 6-3 and ranked number 9. and the Los Angeles Rams at 3-6 and ranked number 26. So those are my picks this week. And in case you missed the playoff rankings or the playoff races in the NFL as we go into week 10, here's another look at them. And we'll go further in depth with this one. All right, we'll start as always in the AFC. The top seed is the current leaders in the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, at 7-2, 2-1 versus the West, 5-1 in the AFC. Strength of schedule is 520. Strength of victory is 508. The AFC North leaders, the Baltimore Ravens, are in the 2 spot at the present time at 7-2, 2-1 within their division, 4-2 in the conference. Strength of schedule 514. Strength of victory is 509. Sitting in the number 3 spot, the AFC South leaders, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-2, 2-1 within the division, 4-2 in the conference. Strength of schedule is 543, and strength of victory is the same as the Ravens at 509. And then the 4 seed is the AFC leaders, the Miami Dolphins at 6-3, 2-1 within the division, 4-2 in the conference. They have a 436 strength of schedule and a 275 strength of victory. All right, as for the 3 wildcard spots, they all come from the AFC North. The number 5 seed at the present time are the Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-3, 2-0 within the division, 4-2 in the conference, 552 strength of schedule, 512 strength of victory. Sitting in the number 6 spot at the present time are the Cleveland Browns, also 5-3, 1-2 within the division, 3-2 in the conference, 522 strength of schedule, and 429 strength of victory. And in that 7th and final spot, the Cincinnati Bengals at 5-3, 0-2 within the division, 1-3 in the conference, 500 strength of schedule, 442 strength of victory. On the outside looking in, you've got the number 8 seed Buffalo Bills at 5-4, 1-2 in the division, 2-4 in the conference, 468 strength of schedule, 432 strength of victory. Then you have a tie for 9th with the Houston Texans, Los Angeles Chargers, and the New York Jets, all at 4-4. Houston is 1-1 in the AFC South, 2-2 in the conference. Strength of schedule is 515. Strength of victory is 576. The Chargers are 1-1 in the AFC West, 2-3 in the conference, 522 strength of schedule, 429 strength of victory. And the Jets are 1-1 in the East, 2-3 in the conference, 522 strength of schedule, 514 strength of victory. And I'll read off all these tiebreakers when we're done with the AFC standings. Tied for 12th are the Indianapolis Colts and Las Vegas Raiders, both at 4-5. Indianapolis is 2-2 versus the South this year, 3-3 in the conference, 533 strength of victory, 455 strength of, or rather 533 strength of schedule, and their strength of victory is 455. And then in 13th, you have the Las Vegas Raiders, also at 4-5, 1-1 versus the West, 2-3 in their conference, 421 strength of schedule, 294 strength of victory. Tied for 14th, you've got the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos, both 3-5. Tennessee is 0-1 versus the South, 2-4 in the conference, 574 strength of schedule, 520 strength of victory. While the Denver Broncos also 3-5, is 1-2 versus the West and 1-4 in the conference, with a 529 strength of schedule and a 462 strength of victory. And at the bottom of the AFC, the New England Patriots at 2-7. 2-2 within the East, 2-3 in the conference, 595 strength of schedule, 529 strength of victory. Now on to the tiebreakers. Kansas City wins the tiebreaker over Baltimore based on best win percentage in conference games. Meanwhile, you got that three-way tie with the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals. Pittsburgh owns the tiebreaker over both Cincinnati and Cleveland based on head-to-head win percentage. Translation, the Steelers beat both teams already. Cleveland wins the tiebreaker over Cincinnati for that same reason, head-to-head win percentage. The Texans, meanwhile, wins the tiebreaker over the Jets and Chargers based on best win percentage in conference games. And the Chargers own the tiebreaker over the Jets based on head-to-head win percentage. They just beat the Jets on Monday night. Indianapolis owns the tiebreaker over Las Vegas based on best win percentage in conference games. And the Tennessee Titans own the tiebreaker over Denver based on best win percentage in conference games. Now let's jump over to the NFC. Your division leaders are the Philadelphia Eagles sitting in the number one spot at 8-1. 3-0 versus the East, 6-0 in the conference. 462 strength of schedule, 457 strength of victory. Sitting in the number 2 spot, the Detroit Lions, 6-2 record, 1-0 within the North, 4-1 in the conference, 500 strength of schedule, 431 strength of victory. In third, the NFC West leading San Francisco 49ers at 5-3, 2-0 versus the West, 4-1 in the conference, 456 strength of schedule, 372 strength of victory. And once again, I'll read the tiebreakers after I go through the entire conference. And in the 4th spot, the South leading New Orleans Saints at 5-4, 550, or I'm not even going to count the win percentage here. Anyway, the Saints are 1-1 versus the South, 2-2 versus the conference. Strength of schedule, 373. Strength of victory is 279. So both numbers weak for the Saints. Your 3 wildcard teams as of right now would be the Seattle Seahawks, sitting in the number 5 spot at 5-3. 1-1 versus the West, 4-1 in the conference, 441 strength of schedule, 357 strength of victory. In the number 6 spot, the Dallas Cowboys at 5-3. 1-1 versus the East, 2-3 in the conference, 420 strength of schedule, 349 strength of victory. And in the 7th spot, the red hot Minnesota Vikings at 5-4. 2-0 versus the North, 5-2 within the conference, 487 strength of schedule, 357 strength of victory. Then you have a tie for 8th with the Washington Commanders and the Atlanta Falcons, both at 4-5. Washington is 0-3 within the East, 2-4 in the conference, 438 strength of schedule, 286 strength of victory. While the Falcons are 2-0 in the South and 3-3 versus the NFC. 473 strength of schedule, 344 strength of victory. Next, you have a tie for 10th place with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Green Bay Packers, both 3-5. Tampa Bay is 1-1 in the South, 3-3 in the conference, 557 strength of schedule, 444 strength of victory. Then you've got the Packers, 1-2 versus the North, 3-3 in the conference, 457 strength of schedule, 370 strength of victory. Sitting in 12th are the Los Angeles Rams at 3-6, 2-1 versus the West, 2-4 in the conference, 547 strength of schedule, 385 strength of victory. And a tie for 13th are the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears, both at 2-7. The Giants are 1-1 versus the East, 2-3 in the conference, 506 strength of schedule, 278 strength of victory. And the Bears are 0-2 versus the North, 1-4 in the conference, 494 strength of schedule, 444 strength of victory. In 15th, the Carolina Panthers, 1-7, 0-2 versus the South, 0-5 versus the conference, 565 strength of schedule, 500 strength of victory. And sitting at the bottom of the NFC are the Arizona Cardinals at 1-8, 0-3 versus the division, 1-5 in the conference, 539 strength of schedule, 625 strength of victory. All right, now let's take a look at the tiebreakers. San Francisco wins the tiebreaker over Seattle based on best win percentage in division games. Seattle, meanwhile, has the tiebreaker over Dallas based on best win percentage in conference games. Washington owns the tiebreaker over Atlanta based on head-to-head win percentage. Tampa Bay owns the tiebreaker over Green Bay based on best win percentage in common games. And the New York Giants owns the tiebreaker over Chicago based on best win percentage in conference games. And that, my friends, is that. My Week 10 picks, straight up and against the spread, and the updated playoff races across the NFL as we go into Week 10 and the second half of this 2023 season. All right, my next video will be on Monday when we look at the updated standings in both the NBA and the NHL, so make sure you join me for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the pigskin tonight and this weekend. Peace out.